Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hmm? Hmm. 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपस्ताय भूतले श्रीमती राधानाथ स्वामी नामिने नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपस्ताय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य सदानि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसाति गौरवृंद हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. 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 Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Ram Ram Hare.
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Ram
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare. Go and give
Hare
to
Hare
Mama. I mean,
Ram, Hare
what Mama will do that with
Hare
that?
Krishna.
Want to go to someone else.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram.
Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram,
If
Hare
this
Ram, Ram
be with
Hare
car only, why? Because
Hare
the
Krishna,
songs
Hare
are
Krishna,
coming in
Krishna
the
Krishna,
shower.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
They
Ram
they have
Hare
like this, huh?
Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
and
Krishna,
Hare
Coco
Krishna
to
Rama,
come.
Rama
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare Ram,
Perfect.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
give to Mama.
Ram
Fine,
Hare
come first.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Ram
Rama, Ram
Hare
Ram Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram,
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Ram
Hare
Ram Hare.
Ram, Ram Hare Hare
नमो
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
विष्णुपादाय
Krishna
कृष्णपस्ताय
Krishna, Hare
भूतले
Ram,
श्रीमती
Ram
राधानाथ
Ram
स्वामी
Hare
नामिनी नमो
Hare Krishna,
विष्णुपादाय
Hare Krishna, Krishna
कृष्णपस्ताय भूतले
Krishna, Hare Ram,
श्रीमती
Ram
भक्तिवेदांत
Hare
स्वामी नामिनी नमस्ते
Hare
सारस्वदेवे
Krishna, Hare
गौरवाणी
Krishna,
प्रचार
Krishna Krishna,
निर्विशेष
Hare Ram,
शून्यवादी
Ram
पाश्चात्य देश
Hare
कारणे जय श्री कृष्ण
Hare
चैतन्य
Krishna, Hare
प्रभु
Krishna,
नित्यानंद
Krishna
श्री
Krishna,
अद्वैत
Hare Ram,
गदाधर
Ram
शिवसाति
Ram
गौतम
Hare
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna, Hare
हरे
Krishna, Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
राम
Hare
राम
Ram,
राम हरे
Ram
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण हरे
Hare Krishna,
हरे
Hare Krishna,
राम
Krishna
राम
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Ram,
हरे
Ram
राम
Hare
राम
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare
अंकुल
Hare
yesterday
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
complete
Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे राम
Ram, Hare
राम हरे
Shri
कृष्ण
Krishna Chaitanya
हरे
Prabhu
राम
Nityananda Shri
राम
Advaita
राम
Gadadhara
हरे
Srivasa
कृष्ण
Gadadhara
हरे
Hare
राम
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Hare Ram, Ram
हरे
Hare
राम
Hare Krishna, Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna Krishna, Hare
हरे
Ram,
राम
Hare
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
हरे
Hare
राम हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
राम हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Hare
हरे
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
हरे कृष्ण राम हरे कृष्ण हरे
Hare Krishna,
राम
Hare Krishna,
हरे
Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
राम
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
या
Hare
हरे
Ram,
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
राम
Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
राम राम हरे कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Hare
राम
Krishna, Hare
राम
Krishna, Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण हरे
Hare
राम
Hare
राम
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Ram,
that Rajini,
Hare
Rajini,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Ram Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram,
just like that gift.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Ram,
Rama
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama Ram,
Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Ram, Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hands are
Hare
raised.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, 8 o'clock it will come. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती राधना स्वामी नामिनी नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती
Hare
भक्ति
Krishna,
वेदांत
Krishna
स्वामी
Krishna,
नामिनी
Hare
नमस्ते
Ram,
सारस्वदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
Hare
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतार
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Raju Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prasad Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Saraswat Mataji, Hare Krishna, Hare Mate, Dada Pranams. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much for joining today. We will start now.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Jai Jai Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
Mother, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Dada Pranam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namagyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshavadanbalitam Yena. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadana Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangamalangayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Shri Guram Dinatharina Padamananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Meshwara Om Apavitra Pavitra Va Sarva Vasamgato Viva Yasmaret Pundari Kaksham Sabahya Abhyantaram Suchihi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Tada Vashyam Tisurayo Divi Vachakshana Tatam Sadviprasa Vipanyam Jagram Samindate Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, based on sections. Yesterday we have done 56, 57. Today continue with 58. Okay, 58th sloka. What he's saying here, the concept is Sthita Pragya. Krishna is continuously talking about and defining who is Sthita Pragya. Okay, so we'll continue 58, 2.58, BG 2.58. Okay, advanced view. So let us chant. Okay, please repeat after me. Yada samharate chayam
यदा संहरते चायं
यदा संवरते छायं
कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः
कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः
सर्वशः
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
तस्य
तस्य
प्रज्ञा
प्रज्ञा
प्रतिष्ठिता
प्रतिष्ठिता
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
तस्य
तस्य
प्रज्ञा
प्रज्ञा
प्रतिष्ठिता
प्रतिष्ठिता
సమ్మరీ ఇయర్స్ కి బాగా సౌండ్ వస్తుంది యాక్చువల్లీ ఎక్కడ టూ మచ్ ఏ ఇయర్ లో పెయిన్ వస్తుంది సో ప్లీజ్ సిట్ ఇన్ వీఆర్ రీడింగ్ అండ్ హియరింగ్ Krishna's words, okay? Whatever we are spending time means we are with Krishna. So let us be, whatever time you are spending, be peaceful, chant, and please do that, respect everybody's, peace of mind. Because sometimes, I don't know, in my ears, I put headphones. Understand, please, okay? 4 lines together. Yada samharate chayam कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Now chant, please. Yeah.
यदा संहरते
यदा
चायं
संहरते छायं
कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव
कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव
सर्वशः
सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यस्तस्य
तस्य
प्रज्ञा
प्रज्ञा
प्रतिष्ठिता
प्रतिष्ठिता
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, nice one. Huh? Indriyani, indriyartebhyas. Indriyani means senses. Indriya artebhya from the sense objects. Kata. Okay. Translation Adani Prasad.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects. As a tortoise draws its limbs within a shell, he is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. One who is able to withdraw his senses from the sense objects.
Tortoise example is also given by Krishna.
Yeah. As a tortoise draws its limbs from the shell, he is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness.
కూర్మావతారం కూడా
Firmly
ఎత్తింది
fixed
కృష్ణుడే
in
కదా
perfect consciousness. Yes.
కూర్మావతారం కూడా ఎత్తింది కృష్ణుడే కదా సో ఇక్కడ కూర్మ అనేది కూడా చెప్తున్నాను అనమాట ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అంటే తాబేలు ఎట్లా ఒక బండలా తయారైపోతుంది కదా సంథింగ్ హ్యాపెన్స్ మొత్తం లోపలికి ఉంటది మనం చూస్తే అది బండలా అని అనుకుంటాం బట్ ఇట్స్ ఏ లివింగ్ ఎంటిటీ టార్టైజ్ జస్ట్ లైక్ అవర్ సెన్స్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ senses from sense objects object no our senses going through that object and wanted to experience that object. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects. The tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Okay, one more. 2.59. A very nice version. Very nice verse. We frequently quote Prabhupada also many times. Vishaya vinivartante. Please repeat.
Vishya
विषया
vinivartante
Niraharasya dehina.
निराहारस्य
Niraharasya
देहिनः
dehinah
रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य
Rasavarjam
रसवर्जं
rasopyasya
रसोऽप्यस्य
परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते.
Param
परं
drustvani
दृष्ट्वा
vartate.
निवर्तते.
Yeah. 4 lines together, okay? विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिना रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते. Yeah, please chant.
विषया
Vishaya
विनिवर्तन्ते
vinivartante
निराहारस्य देहिनः
Rasya dehinah
रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा
Param drustyani
निवर्तते.
vartate.
Wonderful verse. Read the translation, Saratadmati.
This Prabhuji translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for the sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Higher taste means, sense objects, senses, sense objects. The same senses using in Krishna consciousness. What is that verse? Rishikena Rishikesha Sevana Bhakti Ruchate. Rishikena, Rishikesha Krishna, controller of the senses. Rishikena, senses. Engaged in Krishna service, what happens? Bhakti Ruchate, doing Bhakti Yoga process, we engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness. That is called higher taste. By engaging, seizing. What is seizing? Seizing means the taste, though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyments, ఓకే యాక్చువల్లీ ఏదైనా కూడా నేచురల్గా వెళ్ళిపోవాలి. మనం పర్టికులర్గా రిస్ట్రిక్ట్ చేసుకుంటుంటే ఇంక కొన్ని రోజులకు మళ్ళీ బ్యాక్ అవుతుంది. మళ్ళా మళ్ళీ పాత హ్యాబిట్స్ని చేస్తుంటాం. అందుకే ఇట్ హ్యాస్ టు గో నేచురల్లీ. దట్స్ వై వీ హ్యావ్ టు ట్రైన్ ఆర్ టేమ్ అవర్ మైండ్ బై ఎంగేజింగ్ ఇన్ కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్ యాక్టివిటీస్. దట్ ఈస్ హైయెస్ట్ టేస్ట్, higher taste, working for higher taste. So that is there. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drustva nivartate. Param drustva, far superior thing, drustva, by experiencing, nivartate, he ceases from. Okay, very nice. One more verse and we can stop. Text 660. Yatato hi api kaunteya. Please repeat.
यततोऽपि
Yatatohi
कौन्तेय
kaunteya
Purushasya vipaschita
purushasya
विपश्चितः
indriyani pramarthuini
Indriyani
indrayani
pramatini
haranti prashabham mana.
हरन्ति
haranti rasabam manaha.
Full line. Yeah, full line. Sudhar. Yatato hi api kaunteya purusasya vipaschita indriyani pramatini haranti prasabham mana.
Yatato hi api
यततो ह्यपि
kaunteya
कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य
purushasya
विपश्चितः
vipashyataha
इन्द्रियाणि
indriyani pramatani haranti prasabam manaha.
Yeah, Raju Prabhu. Chadani.
Yeah, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The senses are so strong and impetus, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind, even a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them.
The senses are so strong, impetus, forcibly carry away mind. మన మైండ్ని తీసుకెళ్ళిపోతుంది అనమాట. సెన్స్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్, సెన్స్ గ్రాటిఫికేషన్, indulging. Prabhupada raise this word. Indulging in sense gratification. Indulging in sense gratification. Kama, actually, lust only, right? Lust, anger, greed. 3 doors to hell. That's Krishna only says. It starts with lust. So what is the lust? Lust can be man-woman relationship, but not only that one. No. Lust can be any material desire. Any material desire which is away from Krishna and which is separately enjoying from Krishna. We wanted to enjoy our body, with our body. We wanted to enjoy those senses. That is the problem. See, separatist mentality అని వస్తుంది అనమాట. ఎవరు ధ్రువ మహారాజ్ పాస్ట్ ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. ధ్రువ మహారాజ్ మన లార్డ్ కపిల టీచింగ్స్ టు మదర్ దేవహూతి. So nicely explained about separatist mentality. What is that separatist mentality? Away from Krishna. No. I am the doer, the same conscious. Prakriti kriyamani gurai karmani sarvasaha ahankara vimudhatma. Due to false ego, I am the doer. That's a kind of feelings. So that's where we have to engage nice Krishna conscious activities. Prabhupada writes ఈ word కూడా రాస్తాడు Prabhupada. Employ అంట. Employment అంటే బయట జాబే కాదు. Employ our senses in Krishna service. Employ ఒక పని. Employing our senses in Krishna service. అది. సో దట్స్ వేర్ స్థితప్రజ్ఞ గురించి చెప్తూ ఎట్లుంటారు అనే చెప్తున్నాడు యాక్చువల్లీ. స్థితప్రజ్ఞ కెనాట్ వరీ అబౌట్ ఆల్ దిస్. స్థితప్రజ్ఞ మీన్స్ ప్యూర్ డివోటీ యాక్చువల్లీ. నథింగ్ బట్ ఏ ప్యూర్ డివోటీ. స్థితప్రజ్ఞ మీన్స్ దట్స్ వేర్ ఇవన్నీ ఎట్లుంటారు అట్లా ప్యూర్ డివోటీస్ అంటే కంప్లీట్లీ దే ఆర్ డివైడ్ ఆఫ్ ఎనీ మెటీరియలిస్టిక్ వే ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ అండ్ ఓన్లీ Krishna conscious lives, Krishna centered life. Bhakti, through the Bhakti Yoga process, they perform all the angas of Bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Achanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Right? Right? So that is where we have to see Krishna consciousness. Krishna conscious life is a lifetime of effort. Lifetime of effort. Yeah. Over time, we cannot become pure devotees. Movie star Friday, Okaroka movie, Tony star అయినట్టు కాదు అది. So it's a lifetime of effort. Lifelong we have to work on our anarthas and our offenses, our conditionings. So through the bhakti, obviously, if we the only one process only, all the acharyas emphasizing that if you chant sincerely, if you sadhana, especially start with chanting, sincere chanting is slowly get rid of all the problems of conditioned state of life. Sincere chantings. Guru Maharaj says that, Radhanath Swami Maharaj says that. Three things: sincerity, seriousness, and without any ulterior motive. If we have this kind of consciousness, success is guaranteed. Sincerely, we have to strive for Krishna's mercy. Sincerely show our seriousness, not for Nam Ke Vaste. Yes, every weekend we have nice Sunday feast there. Every monthly, once, twice, we have big festivals there. Everything is there, nicely arranged. Feasting, chanting, feasting, dancing, all activities very nice. But how sincerely we are trying. Actually, I'm talking to myself. How sincerely I'm trying to develop all these wonderful qualities of Sthita Pragya. That's where Krishna is telling in this set of verses. Sthita Pragya is nothing but pure devotee. Nandara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Chala. Next we will continue with our Bhagavatam readings. Okay, devotees will join eventually. Lavanya actually went to Ansini for an exam, intermediate second year exams going on. So today her exams are starting. That's why Lavanya is not here. Maybe after she went inside, maybe she will join. We'll see. So then, today onwards, intermediate, Telangana government intermediate exam started. Second year today. Okay, so now we'll continue our Bhagavatam where we left 32nd verse. Okay, so SB 4.13.32. 4.13.32. Okay, Saraswati Mataji, please start reading. I'm sharing again.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, 32 sloka. Please start reading. Then next Prashad Prabhu, then Razu Prabhu, then myself. If Vani Mataji wants to read, and she can also. Yeah, please read. Please read translation.
Yes, Prabhuji. A translation. O King, we wish all good fortune for you. You have no son, but you pray at once to the Supreme Lord and ask for a son, and if you execute the sacrifice for that purpose, the enjoyer of the sacrifice, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will fulfill your desire.
O King means King Anga Anumata.
Yes,
Yeah, next, text 33. Continue.
Translation. When Hari, the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices, is invited to fulfill your desire for a son, all the demigods will come with him and take their shares in the sacrifice. Purport. Whenever a sacrifice is performed, it is meant for satisfying Lord Vishnu, the enjoyer of the fruit of all sacrifices. And when Lord Vishnu agrees to come to a sacrificial arena, all the demigods naturally follow their master, and their shares are offered in such sacrifices. The conclusion is that the sacrifices performed are meant for Lord Vishnu, not for the demigods.
శ్లోకం చెప్పండి మాతాజీ. ఈ లైన్ చదివితే ఏం గుర్తొస్తుంది? నా ట్రై చేయండి. భగవద్గీత
ఉంది ప్రభుజీ. నాకైతే విష్ణు సహస్రనామంలో గుర్తొస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ.
ఏం కాదు ఇంకా. ఓకే. భోక్తారు
విష్ణు
యజ్ఞ తపసాం
జపసాం సర్వలోక మహేశ్వరం సుహృదం సర్వభూతానాం జ్ఞాత్వా మాం శాంతి
శాంతి. వండర్ఫుల్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. వెరీ గుడ్. థ్యాంక్
విష్ణు
యూ.
సహస్రనామంలో కూడా ఈ యజ్ఞం ఈ దీని గురించి ఉంది ప్రభుజీ.
ఎస్, యజ్ఞ పురుషుడు కృష్ణుడే. ఓకే, హరే కృష్ణ. నెక్స్ట్ మన మళ్ళీ వస్తుంది. తక్కువ మంది అన్నారు, మళ్ళీ చదువుదాం. ప్రసాద్ బాబు చదవండి. దెన్ రాజు ప్రభు, బి రెడీ.
Prabhuji, I'll read and go, Prabhuji. Okay. Let him read. Let him read, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
హరే కృష్ణ. ధన్యవాదాలు.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta from Sri Prabhupada. Sri Prabhupada ki jai. The performer of the sacrifices under Karma Kanda. The performer of sacrifices under Karma Kanda activities achieves the fulfillment of desires for which he worships the Lord. Purport. Okay, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that He awards benedictions to the worshipper according to his desire. The Supreme Personality of the Godhead gives all living entities conditioned within this material world full freedom to act in their own way. But to his devotee, he says that instead of working in that way, it is better to surrender unto him. Okay, for he will take charge of the devotee. That is the indifference between the devotee and fruitive actor. The fruitive actor enjoys only the fruits of his own activities, but a devotee, being under the guidance of Supreme Lord, simply advances in the devotional service to achieve the ultimate goal of life, to go back to Godhead. A significant word in this verse is common, which means sense gratifactory desires. A devotee is devoid of all kaman. Okay, he is anyabhilashita sunya. A devotee is always devoid of all desires for sense gratification. His only aim is to satisfy or gratify the senses of Lord. That is the difference between karmi and a devotee. Hare Krishna.
His only aim is to satisfy or gratify the senses of the Lord. That is the difference between a karmi and a devotee. So anyabhilashita shunyam is remembering. No desires. Desire there, but desire for serving Lord. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So nice. So one more point is there here. Full freedom. That means nothing but free will. Okay. Krishna won't interrupt in our free will. You can act whatever you like to act in the material level, no problem. If you act bad way, you will suffer. The same free will, if you use it for my service, I will take care of this. Prabhupada immediately. He will take charge of the devotee when he turns to Krishna. This turns means surrendering. Thank you, Prabhu. Raju Prabhu, continue. Malli avadam. Kontamandi unnara. Malli
Yeah. Translation and purpose of Prabhupada. Translation. Thus, for the sake of the son for King Anga, they decided to offer obligation to Lord Vishnu, who is situated in the hearts of all living entities. Purport. According to the sacrificial rituals, animals sometimes sacrificed in the yagna arena. Such animals are sacrificed not to kill them, but to give them new life. Such action was an experiment to observe whether the Vedic mantras were being properly pronounced. Sometimes small animals are killed in a medical laboratory to investigate therapeutic effects in a medical clinic. In a medical clinic, the animals were not revived. But in the yagna arena, when animals were sacrificed, they were again given life by the potency of Vedic mantras. The word Sipi Vichaya appears in this verse. Sipi means the flame of the sacrifice in the sacrificial fire. If the obligations are offered in the flames, then Lord Vishnu is situated there in the form of the flames. Therefore, Lord Vishnu is known as Sipi Vishta.
Name of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord Vishnu is known as Sipi Vista.
Sipi Vista.
Sipi
Thank
Vista
you.
appears. Sipi Vista means ఇక్కడ ఉంది కదా meaning. To the Lord who is situated in the sacrificial fire. Yeah. అగ్నికుండంలో ఉంటాడు అగ్నికి దేవుడు అంటారు. అగ్ని is nothing but Krishna only, right? Krishna only created fire element in the middle, right? Earth, water, fire, air either. So one way. Okay, very nice. Rituals, mantras. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Next. Who wants to read next? Madhavi Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandapran.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Dandapran. Please read, Mataji.
Translation. As soon as the oblation was offered in the fire, a person appeared from the fire altar wearing a golden garland and a white dress. He was carrying a golden pot filled with rice boiled in milk.
Rice kheer. Hare Krishna.
Translation. The king was very liberal, and after taking permission from the priest, he took the preparation in his joined palms, and after smelling it, he offered a portion to his wife. But the word udaradhi is significant in this connection. The wife of the king, Sunita, was not fit to accept this benediction. Yet the king was so liberal that without hesitation, he offered to his wife the boiled rice in milk prasada received from the Agni Purusha. Of course, everything is designed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As will be explained in later verses, this incident was not very favorable for the king. Since the king was very liberal, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to increase his detachment from this material world, willed that a cruel son be born of the queen so that the king would have to leave home. As stated above, Lord Vishnu fulfills the desires of the karmis as they desire, but the Lord fulfills the desire of a devotee in a different way so that Prabhuji koncham scroll.
Yeah.
So that the devotee may gradually come to him. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. The Lord gives the devotee the opportunity to take progress further and further so that he may come back home, back to Godhead.
Super. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
Prabhuji.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Here, as stated above, what is Lord Vishnu fulfill the desires of the karmis, as it is. But the Lord fulfills the desire of a devotee in different way, so that the devotee may gradually come to him. See, కృష్ణుడికే తెలుసు ఎవరిని దగ్గర తీసుకోవాలి, ఎవరిని దూరం పెట్టాలి, రైట్? దగ్గర తీసుకోవాలంటే డివోటీని దగ్గర తీసుకుంటాడు. He will create adverse situations so that he remembers Krishna. Kunti Maharani ఉన్నారు ఎన్ని Kunti Maharani exemplary devotee Mataji. Kunti Mata. She wants to always miseries. So that through miseries, I can remember you. We can remember you always, all the time. So here, in different way means, see, whatever Krishna facilitates for a devotee, ante ade తీసుకుంటారు, continue అవుతారు. They are like that. They don't want any more desires. The Lord fulfills the desire of a devotee in a different way, so that devotee may gradually come to him. Come closer to him. Whatever happens in a devotee's life means come closer to him. So very nicely pointed. This is beauty of Prabhupada. Dadami buddhi yogantam yena mamupayanti tesham sadadektanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogantam yena mamupayanti te. Yeah, I give you the understanding so that they can come to me. No, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love. That is a translation actually. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love. 3 activities. Constant devotional service with love. Then Krishna is going to take it. Sorry. Krishna is... Are you able to see my screen? Sadly, I am not. Okay. Tadami buddhi yogantam. Krishna will give the understanding so that they can come to him. Okay. Text 38. Who wants to do? Let me see. Andar ayipinda. Vani Mata, Hare Krishna. Okay, let me read. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Chestara? Saudara?
Chesta Prabhuji.
Yes.
Translation. While the queen had no son, after eating that food, which had the power to produce a male child, she became pregnant by her husband, and in due course of time, she gave birth to a son. Purport. Among the 10 kinds of purificatory processes, one is Pumsavanam. Okay. In Pumsavanam, in which the wife is offered some prasada or remnants of foodstuff offered to Lord Vishnu, so that after sexual intercourse with her husband, she may conceive a child.
Next answer, continue. 39. 39, yeah.
Yeah, that boy was born practically in the dynasty.
Partially.
Sorry. That boy was born partially in the dynasty of
But
Irilian.
practical also working. Okay, mother, continue. Practical, ఇప్పుడు అందుకే ప్రాక్టికల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఇస్తాడు అనమాట కృష్ణుడు. అట్లాంటి సన్స్లు క్రియేట్ చేసి నెక్స్ట్ ఏం జరుగుతుంది ప్రాక్టికల్ గానే ఇదంతా కూడా.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Read again, mother.
Yeah. That boy was born partially in the dynasty of Irreligion. His grandfather was death personified, and the boy grew up as his follower. He became a greatly irreligious person. Purport. The child's mother, Sunita, was a daughter of death personified. Generally, the daughter receives the qualifications of her father, and the son acquires those of the mother. So, according to the axiomatic truth, that things equal to the same thing are equal to one another. The child born of King Anga became the follower of his maternal grandfather. According to Smriti Shastra, a child generally follows the principles of his maternal uncle's house. Naranam Naranam Matula Karma means that a child generally follows the qualities of his maternal family. If the maternal family is very corrupt or sinful, the child, even though born of a good father, becomes a victim of the maternal family. According to Vedic civilization, therefore, before the marriage takes place, an account is taken of both the boys and girls' families. If according to astrological calculation, the combination is perfect, then marriage takes place. Sometimes, however, there is a mistake and the family life becomes frustrating.
Mhm.
It appears
Yes.
that King Anga did not get a very good wife in Sunita because she was the daughter of death personified. Sometimes the Lord arranges an unfortunate wife for his devotee so that gradually, due to family circumstances, the devotee becomes detached from his wife and home and makes progress in devotional life. It appears that by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, King Anga, although a pious devotee, got an unfortunate wife like Sunita and later a bad child like Vena. But the result was that he got complete freedom from the entanglement of family life and left home to go back to Godhead.
So bad son also causes for a good thing for a king called Anga. So అది చెప్తున్నారు ఇక్కడ. Yeah. అందుకే ఈ డిఫరెంట్ వే కృష్ణ టేక్స్ హిస్ డివోటీస్ ఇన్ డిఫరెంట్ వే. హీ గివ్స్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. అట్లా ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్ అట్లా క్రియేట్ చేసి బ్యాడ్స్ అన్ని ఇచ్చి మొత్తం ఫ్రస్ట్రేట్ అయ్యి ఇట్స్ ఓకే లెట్ మీ ఫోకస్ ఆన్ కృష్ణ. దట్స్ వేర్ దట్ ఈస్ ద థింగ్. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ Mataji Kృష్ణ.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Let me read. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Text 40. So before reading this, let me share this sections once. So we are here in between, 25 to 39 we just completed. Maitreya narrates events leading to Venus birth. That's where we have gone through all this. Well, translation purport 25 to 30. The priest at the Ashwamedha Yajna informed King Anga that the Devatas had not appeared despite the correct procedure. అన్ని బాగానే చేస్తుంది కానీ దేవత didn't appear. The king inquires about any offense on his part. The priest informed that the king is sonless due to sins on his previous life. Excuse me. Then 32 to 34, the priest suggests to perform a sacrifice to please Lord Hari to get a son that will please the Devatas. That's where we are here. They offer oblations to Vishnu, then offer the payasam, rice kid, milk with rice. Part to his wife Sunita, daughter of Mrityu, who gives birth to an irreligious son, Vena. So now we are here in this section. 42 to 49, Anga leaves home due to Vena's atrocities. The 9 slokas, 9, 10 slokas there. 40 to 42, 40th sloka and 41, 42. Anga failed to reform his son. Correct చేయలేకపోయింది అనమాట. who would mercilessly kill animals and playmates. Thus he was aggrieved. 43 to 47 Anga's thoughts about the son. A bad son is better than a good son, leading one to detachment. Thus he went to the forest. 48 to 49 the ministers search for Anga but cannot find him. Disappointed, they inform the sages. That's where we are reading 40th sloka. So we will continue. Okay. And translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. After fixing his bow and arrow, the cruel boy used to go to the forest and unnecessarily kill innocent deer. And as soon as he came, all the people would cry, "Here comes cruel Vena! Here comes cruel Vena!" Purport. Kshatriyas are allowed to hunt in the forest for the purpose of learning the killing art, not to kill animals for eating or for any other purpose. The Kshatriya kings were sometimes expected to cut off the head of a culprit in the state. For this reason, the Kshatriyas were allowed to hunt in the forest. This fighting practice, because the son of King Anga, Vena, was born of a bad mother, he was very cruel, and he used to go to the forest and unnecessarily kill the animals. All the neighboring inhabitants would be frightened by his presence, and they would call, "Here comes Vena, here comes Vena." So, from the beginning of his life, he was fearful to the citizens. Yeah. Text 41, translation. The boy was so cruel that while playing with the young boys of his age, he would kill them very mercilessly. Oh, it's too much. The boy was so cruel that while playing with the young boys of his age, he would kill them very mercilessly, too much, as if they were animals meant for slaughter. అట్లా చంపుతాడంట వేనా too much, as if they were animals meant for slaughter. స్లాటర్ హౌస్ లో తీసుకుపోయి ఎట్లా చంపుతారో అట్లా అట్లా క్రూరంగా చంపుతాడంట ఇతను. అందుకే బ్యాడ్ క్వాలిటీస్ బాయ్, బ్యాడ్ బాయ్. Text 42. After seeing the cruel and merciless behavior of his son, Vena, King Anga punished him in different ways to reform him, but was unable to bring him to the path of great gentleness. He thus became greatly aggrieved. He tried. King Anga punished him in different ways. అంత క్లియర్గా ఇక్కడ చెప్పలేదు ఏ రకంగా పనిష్ చేసింది అనేది. And somehow he did it. Whatever he wants to do, he did it. He was unable to bring him to the path of gentleness. He thus became greatly aggrieved. So next verses, please read anyone. Continue, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay, continue. Yes.
Translation. The king thought to himself, person who have no sons are certainly fortunate. They must have worshipped the Lord in their previous lives, so that they would not have to suffer the unbearable happiness caused by a bad son. Purport. Unbearable unhappiness caused by a bad son. Purport. It is said that a married couple must have a son, otherwise their family life is void. But a son born without good qualities is as good as a blind eye. A blind eye has no use for seeing, but it is simply unbearably painful. The king therefore thought himself very unfortunate to have such a bad son.
Yeah, read this one also. Just
Its
translation.
translation. A sinful son causes a person's reputation to vanish. His irreligious activities at home cause irreligion and quarrel among everyone, and this creates only endless anxiety.
Okay, thank you, Matadi. We'll give
Thank
to
you.
somebody. 45th sloka, please continue. Anybody? We are almost there in the chapter.
హరే కృష్ణ పూజ నేను అవుతాను.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
చదువుతాను. ఓకే, ట్రాన్స్లేషన్. హూ, if he is considerate and intelligent, would desire such a worthless son? Such a son is nothing but a bond of illusion for the living entity, and he makes one's home miserable.
Yes,
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. 46 sloka translation. Then the king thought a bad son is better than a good son, because a good son creates an attachment at a home, whereas a bad son does not. A bad son creates a hellish home, from which an intelligent man naturally becomes very easily detached. Correct reverse. A bad son is a better than a good son hunter, because a good son creates attachment at home, whereas a bad son does not. అంటే చెడులో కూడా మంచి చూడటం అనమాట ఇది. A bad son creates a hellish home, from which an intelligent man naturally becomes very easily detached. Detached అంటే bad son వారు.
అందుకే
చెడులో కూడా మంచి చూడాలంటే ఇదే.
మంచి సన్ అంటే మంచి సన్ ఉంటేనేమో అటాచ్మెంట్ పెరుగుతుంది, బ్యాడ్ సన్ ఉంటేనేమో డిటాచ్మెంట్ పెరుగుతుంది, గెట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ దిస్. రెండు రకాల, అదేమో అటాచ్మెంట్, ఇదేమో డిటాచ్మెంట్.
ప్రభుజీ కింగ్ అంగా మంచోళ్ళు కాబట్టి అలా అనుకున్నారు ప్రభుజీ, లేకపోతే ఎవరు బ్యాట్స్ అండ్ మంచోళ్ళని అనుకుంటారు. మంచిదని ఆ సిచ్యువేషన్ ని ఆయన పాజిటివ్ గా తీసుకున్నారు.
కరెక్ట్.
I think everybody is expected to take the situation in this way.
విష్ణుడు అట్లా సెట్ చేసిండు అనమాట.
The king began to think in terms of attachment and detachment from soul's material home. According to Prahlad Maharaj, the material home is compared to the blind well. If a man falls down into the blind well, it is very difficult to get out of it and begin life again. Prahlad Maharaj had advised that one give up this blind well.
ఒక నిమిషం థింక్ చేయండి, డివైడ్ హౌ బ్లైండ్ వెల్. బ్లైండ్ వెల్ అంటే ఏముండదు కదా, ఎంత 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 అదే తెలుసా, బ్లైండ్ వెల్
of home life as soon as possible and go to forest to take shelter of the Supreme Personality Godhead. According to Vedic civilization, this giving up the home by Vanaprastha and Sannyasa is compulsory. But the people are so attached to their homes that even up to the point of death, they do not like to retire from the home life. King Anga, therefore, thinking in terms of detachment, accepting his bad son as good impetus for detachment from home life. He therefore considered his bad son his friend, since he was helping him become detached from his home. ఇలా ఆలోచించాలి బాబు. Ultimately, one has to learn how to detach oneself from the attachment of material life. Therefore, if a bad son, by his bad behavior, helps a householder to go away from home, it is a boon. ఇది కూడా బూనే.
ఎంతమంది తీసుకుంటారు అట్లా, ఇవి మాత అన్నాడు కరెక్ట్ కదా. కింగ్ అంగా అంటే ఇస్ ప్యూర్ డివోటీ, ఈజ్ అ కాన్షియస్నెస్ అన్న టూ మచ్ అయిపోయింది నాకు.
తీసుకోకపోతే తీసుకోవాలని చెప్తున్నారు ప్రభు. ఇప్పుడు ప్రభుపాద మనకి జనరల్ గా నేచురల్ గా తీసుకోము. ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు భాగవతం చదువుతున్నావు కాబట్టి తీసుకోని చెప్తాడు. That is the change of Bhagavata. If the same flow, okay, if you go with the same flow, then what is the purpose of Bhagavata? We have to reverse the flow of Ganga, bro. That is Bhagavata.
ప్రసాద్ ప్రభు గంగా ప్రవాహం లాగా మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభు. అదే అందరి పరిస్థితి అట్నే, మంచిగా వ్యాసాసనం కూర్చోవడం, లేకపోతే ఏదో క్లాసులు మాత్రం బ్రహ్మాండంగా చెప్తాం కూర్చొని. మన దగ్గరికి వచ్చేసరికి కృష్ణార్పణ, మన దగ్గరికి వచ్చే వరకు ఒకటి కూడా సరిగా ఉండదు. ఓకే ఓకే సరే, థ్యాంక్ యూ బాబు. హరే కృష్ణ. ప్లీజ్ రీడ్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్.
Thinking like that, King Anga could not sleep at night. He became completely indifferent to the household life. Once, therefore, in the dead of the night, he got out from bed and left Vena's mother, his wife, who was sleeping deeply. He gave up all the attraction for his greatly opulent kingdom, and unseen by anyone, he very silently gave up his home and opulence and proceeded towards the forest.
Middle of the night.
Purport. In this verse, the word Mahodayayodayat indicates that by the blessings of the great soul, one becomes materially opulent. But when one gives up the attachment to the material wealth, that should be considered an even greater blessing from the great souls. It was not very easy task for the king to give up all his opulent kingdom and young faithful wife, but it was certainly a great blessing of Supreme Personality of Godhead that he could give up the attachment and go out to the forest without being seen by anyone. There are many instances of the great souls leaving home in this way in the dead of the night, giving up attachment for the home, wife, and money.
Mhm. Thank you. Next, continue. Next, continue. One more verse is that, that's it. After yeah, read this. Sorry.
When it was understood that the king had indifferently left home, all the citizens, priests, ministers, friends, and the people in general were greatly aggrieved. They began to search for him all over the world, just as the less experienced mystic searches out the super soul without himself. Purport. The example of searching for the super soul within the heart by a less intelligent person, mystics is very instructive. The absolute truth is understood in three different features, namely impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatman, and Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such Kuyogina or less intelligent mystics can, by mental speculation, reach the point of impersonal Brahman, but they cannot find the Supersoul, who is sitting within each living entity. When the king left, it was certain that he was staying somewhere else, but because the citizens did not know how to find him, they were frustrated like the less intelligent mystics.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Let me see everyone. Sirisha Mataji or Raj Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Last slogan.
Yes. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: when the citizens could not find any trace of the king after searching for him everywhere, where they were very disappointed, and they returned to city where all the great sages of the country assembled because of the king's absence. With tears in their eyes, the citizens offered respectful obeisances, informed to the sages in full detail that they were unable to find the king anywhere. Purport. Thus, end of the Bhaktivedanta purports of the fourth canto, 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Description of the Descendant of Dhruva Maharaja. Thank you. ప్రభుజీ నేను రెండు చాప్టర్లు అంటే ఇప్పుడు అన్న కూడా సార్
రెండు పంపించండి. సుబోధ్ ఇది పేజ్ పంపిస్తారా సెక్షన్స్ ది? నేను ఇలా కొంచెం స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం. చాప్టర్ 14 విల్ స్టార్ట్. ఓకే, ద స్టోరీ ఆఫ్ కింగ్ వేనా కొంచెం డీటెయిల్ గా ఉంటుంది ఇది. ఓకే, సారీ. చాప్టర్ 14. చాప్టర్ 13 is the descendants of Dhruva Maharaja in the lineage only, and now here the story of King Vena will continue here. Okay, from text 1 onwards. We have another 20 minutes, we can continue again. Let me start. Maitreya Uvacha. So, translation purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The great sage Maitreya continued, O great hero Vidura, the great sages, headed by Bhrigu, were always thinking of the welfare of the people in general. When they saw that in the absence of the king Anga, there was no one to protect the interest of the people, they understood that without a ruler, the people would become independent and non-regulated. Very important. King is, when king is there, they are dependent on king. When king is there, regulations are there.
sent to 36.
Okay, I will open. Let me finish this. Purport. In this verse, the significant word is Kshema Darshina. Kshema Darshina. Hari Bol. Lokanam Kshema Darshina. which refers to those who are always looking after the welfare of the people in general. All the great sages headed by Bhrigu were always thinking of how to elevate all the people of the universe to the spiritual platform. Indeed, they advised the kings of every planet to rule the people with that ultimate goal of life in mind. The great sages used to advise the head of the state or the king, and he used to rule the populace in accordance with their instruction. After the disappearance of King Anga, there was no one to follow the instructions of the great sages. Consequently, all the citizens became unruly, so much so that they could be compared to animals. As described in Bhagavad Gita 4.13, human society must be divided into four orders according to quality and work. Chaturvarna Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhagas. In every society, there must be an inclined class, administrative class, productive class, and worker class. Nice words, huh? intelligent, administrative, productive, business, and then worker. In modern democracy, these scientific divisions are turned topsy-turvy, and by vote, Shudras or workers are chosen for the administrative posts. Prabhupada about 60 years back, 60, 70 years back. అప్పుడు కూడా సిచ్యువేషన్ ఏం మారలే ఇప్పుడు ఇంకా వర్సన్ అయిపోయింది హ్యావింగ్ నో నాలెడ్జ్ ఆఫ్ ద అల్టిమేట్ గోల్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ such persons whimsically enact laws without knowledge of life's purpose. The result is that no one is happy. Adi katha. Yeah, we'll see these sections and we'll read through that. Let me check. Three, 4.14 sections. This also a small chapter only. I am sharing just a minute. Yeah, please read one devotee, these sections I am sharing.
Can you read?
Yeah, read.
The story of King Vena, 4.14, the story of King Vena, 1.1 to 16, text 1 to 16, Vena's uh, atrocities, 1 to 2, for the welfare of the people, the sages enthroned Vena as king, despite the minister's disapproval. 3 to 6, Vena's pride, cruelty and prohibition of the religious activities. Text 7 to 13, concerned sages plan to meet Vena and pacify him. The sages thought we should try to pacify the king, and he does not listen, then we'll destroy him. Text 14 to 22, the sages try to pacify Vena. 14 to 16, follow dharma, that is good for you, otherwise you will fall down from your royal position. 17 to 20, duty of a pious king is to satisfy the Supreme Lord by engaging everyone in their occupational duties. 21 to 22, qualities of the Supreme Lord, satisfaction of the Lord leads to satisfaction of the Devatas. Text 23 to 28, Vena's arrogant reply to sages. 23 to 25, the king is actually the Supreme Lord. Your affection to Devatas is like a affection of the unchaste woman. 26 to 28, the king is a reservoir of all Devatas, therefore worship me with sacrifice. 29 to 35, the sages killed Vena. Sunita
preserves his dead body with mantras. Sunita is mother, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
36.
mother.
The sages observe disturbance in the kingdom. 42 to 46, the sages Chan, Venus, Thai to produce Bahuka. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So we'll read through. First one, anyway, I have done Vena's atrocities. Okay. So first one to do for the welfare of the people. The sages enthroned Vena as king and despite the minister's disapproval. Okay. So we'll continue. Let me share now. Stop sharing and again slokas sharing. Okay. Please read anyone who wants to do next. Text 2.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah. Right.
Yes. Translation. The great sages then called for a queen mother, Sunita. With her permission, they installed Vena on the throne as master of the world. All the ministers, however, disagreed with this.
Next.
Yes.
Dethrone. Okay. Yeah. Next. Text 3.
Um, It was already known that Vena was very severe and cruel. Therefore, as soon as all the thieves and rogues in the state heard of his ascendance to the royal throne, they become very much afraid of him. Indeed, they hide themselves here and there as rats hide themselves from snakes. But when the government is very weak, rogues and thieves flourish. Similarly, when the government is very strong, all the thieves and rogues disappear or hide themselves. Of course, Vena was not a very good king, but he was known to be cruel and severe. Thus, the Prabhuji కొంచెం scroll
Yeah.
down change.
Yeah.
Thus, the state at least become freed from thieves and rogues. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Next. Who wants to read? Yeah. When the government is weak, there is a problem. ఇప్పుడు ఉన్నది అదే కదా అట్లీస్ట్ మన తెలంగాణ పరిస్థితి. ఓకే చదవండి ఎవరైనా చదవండి వాళ్ళు చదవండి. ప్లీజ్ గో హెడ్ అండ్ స్టార్ట్ రీడింగ్.
I'll read for them. When the king ascended in the throne, he became all powerful with 8 kinds of opulences. Consequently, he became proud. He became too proud. Too proud. By virtue of his false prestige, he considered himself to be greater than anyone. Thus, he began to insult great personalities. But in this verse, the word Vibhuti Bihi means, Ashta Vibhuti meaning by 8 opulences is very important. The king is supposed to possess 8 kinds of opulence by dint of mystic yoga practice. Kings, by the dint of yoga. Okay, kings generally acquired these 8 opulences. These kings were called Rajrishi kings, who were also a great sages. By practicing mystic yoga, the Rajrishis could become smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest, and could get whatever he desired. A Rajrishi could also create a bring kingdom, bring everyone under his control and rule everyone. These were some of the opulences of the king. King Vena, however, was not practiced in yoga, but he became very proud of his royal position nonetheless. Because he was not very considerate, he began to misuse his power and insult great personality.
హరే కృష్ణ. Ashta Vibhuti. What are the Ashta Vibhuti, Prabhu? Is he mentioned here? 8 opulences. This king called Rajarshis. We need to find out. What are the 8 opulences? Ashta
అష్టసిద్ధులు
Vibhuti.
అంటారే ప్రభుజీ, అదే ప్రభుజీ. అనిమ, లగిమ, కలిమ, చిన్నది, చిన్న నుంచి చిన్నది,
Adi, okay. But I don't know exactly. By practicing mystic yoga, Rajarshi could become smaller than smaller than smallest, greater than greater. Okay, maybe at that one only. Okay. Yes. Next, who wants to read? Can you please read? Madhai Mataji? Okay. Prasad Prabhu?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please
Hare
read for
Krishna.
some more time and then we can
Okay.
go with the Bhagavad
Translation.
slokas.
Ah.
Yeah, next Mataji.
When he became overly blind due to his opulences, King Vena mounted a chariot and, like an uncontrolled elephant, began to travel through the kingdom, causing the sky and earth to tremble wherever he went. ఇంకా ఆయన వెళ్ళిపోయారు కాబట్టి ఓకే నెక్స్ట్
Yes, next.
all the twice born brahmanas were forbidden henceforward to perform any sacrifice, and they were also forbidden to give charity or offer clarified butter. Thus, King Vena sounded kettle drums throughout the countryside. In other words, he stopped all kinds of religious rituals. But what was committed by the King Vena many years ago at present being carried out by atheistic governments all over the world. Exactly happening. The world situation is so tense that at any moment government may issue declarations to stop religious rituals. Eventually, the world situation will become so degraded that it will impossible for a pious man to live on this planet, on the planet. Therefore, sane people should execute Krishna consciousness very seriously so that they can go back to home, back to Godhead, without having to further suffer the miserable conditions predominant in this universe. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Very
Prabhu.
good, Prabhu. Very good.
Yeah, degradation. That's why sane people should execute Casey very seriously and get rid of all these problems.
Yes, Prabhu.
King Vena story. King Vena is ruling. Hare Krishna. Okay, next. Who wants to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, Mata.
Translation. And therefore all the great sages assembled together and after observing cruel Venus atrocities, concluded that a great danger and catastrophe was approaching the people of the world. Thus, out of compassion, they began to talk amongst themselves, for they themselves were the performers of the sacrifices. Purport. Before King Vena was enthroned, all the great sages were very much anxious to see to the welfare of society. When they saw that King Vena was most irresponsible, cruel, and atrocious, they again began to think of the welfare of the people. It should be understood that sages, saintly persons, and devotees are not unconcerned with the people's welfare, unconcerned. Ordinary karmis are busy acquiring money for sense gratification, and ordinary gnanis are socially aloof when they speculate on liberation. But actual devotees and saintly persons are always anxious to see how the people can be made happy, both materially and spiritually. Therefore, the great sages began to consult one another on how to get out of the dangerous atmosphere created by King Vena.
అక్కడ నుంచి కింగ్ పృథు వస్తాడు అనమాట. కింగ్ వేన నుండి కింగ్ పృథు వస్తాడు. పృథు రాజ్యం బ్రహ్మాండంగా ఉంటుంది. రాజర్షి ఈజ్ గ్రేట్ డివోటీ ఆఫ్ సుప్రీం లార్డ్. అట్లా రాజర్షి అంటే డివోటీ ప్లస్ కింగ్ ప్లస్ క్షత్రియ క్వాలిటీస్
Sage.
అండ్ డివోషనల్ క్వాలిటీస్.
Yes, sir.
అట్లుంటే ఇది. సో ఒకసారి బ్యాడ్ జరగాలి, ఒకసారి మంచి జరగాలి. కృష్ణుడే చేస్తాడు అదంతా. మంచి బ్యాడ్ సిచ్యువేషన్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాడు, అండ్ సంబడి విల్ కమ్ అండ్ రెక్టిఫై సిచ్యువేషన్ అండ్ రూల్ ద వరల్డ్. అదే ఉంటుంది ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా. మంచి చెడు, మంచి చెడు, మంచి చెడు. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ. నెక్స్ట్ ఐ విల్ ఆస్క్
Thank you,
సంబడి.
Prabhuji.
లెట్ మీ సీ. Whoever not done, please read.
Can I read, Prabhuji, or no?
Read, Prabhu.
Translation. When the great sages consulted on one another, they saw the people were in a dangerous position from the both direction. When a fire blazes and touches on both ends of a log, the ants in the middle are in very dangerous situation. When a fire blazes on the both ends of a log, the ants in the middle are in a very dangerous situation. Similarly, at the time the people in general were in dangerous position due to the irresponsible king in one side and thieves and rogues
Rogue.
on the other.
Hmm. Yeah, dangerous situation. రాజ్యంలో అంత అల్లకల్లోలం అనమాట. ఓకే, సో నెక్స్ట్ who wants to do, and let me see. Vani Mata Krishna, are you able to do? Okay. Let me read. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Text 9 of 4th canto 14th chapter, text 9. Thinking to save the state from irregularity, the sages began to consider that it was due to a political crisis that they made Vena king, although he was not qualified. But alas, now the people were being disturbed by the king himself. Under such circumstances, how could the people be happy? Purport. Bhagavad Gita 18.5. It is stated that even in the renounced order, one should not give up sacrifice, charity, and penance. The brahmacharis must perform sacrifices, the grihasthas must give in charity, and those in the renounced order of life, vanaprasthas and sannyasis, must practice penance and austerities. These are the procedures by which everyone can be elevated to the spiritual platform. When the sages and saintly persons saw that King Vena had stopped all these functions, they became concerned about the people's progress. Saintly people preach God consciousness or Krishna consciousness because they are anxious to save the general populace from the dangers of animalistic life. There must be a good government to see the citizens are actually executing their religious rituals, and thieves and rogues must be curbed. When this is done, the people can advance peacefully in spiritual consciousness and make their lives successful. Text 10. Akincha Prabhu, want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, read, Prabhu.
The sages began to think within themselves because he was born from the womb of Suniti. King Vena is by nature very mischievous.
సునీతి అంటే అక్కడ మళ్ళా అది ధ్రువమన సునీత.
Womb of Sunita. King Vena is by nature very mischievous. Supporting his mischievous king is exactly like maintaining the snake with milk. Now he has become a source of all difficulties. But saintly persons are generally aloof from the social activities and the materialistic way of life. King Vena was supported by the saintly persons just to protect the kings from the hands of the rogues and the thieves. But after his ascendance to the throne, he became a source of trouble to the sages. Saintly people are especially interested in performing sacrifices and austerities for the advancement of the spiritual life. But Vena, instead of being obliged because of the saints' mercy, turned out to be their enemy because he prohibited them from executing their ordinary duties. A serpent who is maintained with milk and bananas simply stores poison in the teeth and awaits the day to bite his master.
అది కథ. saintly persons are generally aloof from social activities and the materialistic way of life. But King Vena, separated by the saintly person just to protect the citizen from the hands of rogues and thieves. Danta story. Prabhupada writes, here. ఇక్కడ ఉందా స్నేక్ అనే ఇక్కడ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ anything like that with milk ahe iva paya posha supporting this mischievous king is exactly like maintaining a snake with milk. Now he has become a source of all difficulties. Beautiful verse. Text 11. Two more verses we can stop. Can anybody wants to read translation and purport? Hare Krishna. Saraswati Mataji, Prasad Prabhu.
చదువుతాను ప్రభుజీ.
Yes, Prabhu.
ట్రాన్స్లేషన్.
Okay. చదవండి మాతాజీ.
ఎస్ చదువుతారా ప్రభుజీ?
చదవండి.
Yes, Prabhuji.
చదవండి.
Translation. We appointed this Vena king of the state in order to give protection to the citizens, but now he has become the enemy of the citizens. Despite all these discrepancies, we should at once try to pacify him. By doing so, we may not be touched by the sinful result caused by him. But the saintly sages elected King Vena to become king, but he proved to be mischievous. Therefore, the sages were very much afraid of incurring sinful reaction. The law of karma prohibits a person even to associate with a mischievous individual. By electing Vena to the throne, the saintly sages certainly associated with him. Ultimately, King Vena became so mischievous that the saintly sages actually become afraid of becoming contaminated by his activities. Thus, before taking any action against him, the sages try to pacify and correct him so that he might turn from his mischief.
అసలు ఇన్ని కవర్లు ఉన్నాయి, రావట్లేదు అసలు.
చంద్రబాబు ప్రభు హరే కృష్ణ చదవండి మీరు ఇప్పుడు
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభు. హరే కృష్ణ.
ఏం ప్రభు మీరు లాస్ట్ మినిట్ లో వస్తారు, ఏం సంగతి?
ఈ పిల్లలకి ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ ప్రభుజీ, నేను డ్రాప్ చేసి రావాల్సి వస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు.
అదే మా మామూలు కూడా అదే సిచ్యువేషన్ ఉన్నారు, మామూలు కూడా అక్కడే ఉన్నారు.
The saintly sages, Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The saintly sages elected a king Vena to becoming king, but he proved to be mischievous. Therefore, the sages were very much afraid of incurring sinful reaction. The law of karma prohibits a person even to associate with a mischievous individual. By electing Vena to the throne, the saintly sages certainly associated with him. Ultimately, King Vena become so mischievous that the saintly sages actually became afraid of becoming contaminated by his by his activities. Thus, before taking any action, the sages tried to pacify and correct him so that he might turn from his mischief.
Hare Krishna. Is the story about King Vena Prabhu, the son of Anga's son. Okay, he is ruling the world with very beautiful thing, nicely ruling.
Okay. Thank you,
Nice
Professor.
అంటే opposite nice. Nice means opposite.
Opposite nice.
Cruel king. All right, so okay. Kant photography. Please read, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Your voice is very less.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Please read this sloka. We are almost done for reading. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The saintly sages continued thinking. Of course, we were completely aware of his mischievous nature, yet we nevertheless enthroned Vena. If we cannot pursued King Vena to accept our advice, he will be condemned by the public and we will join them. Thus, by our probes, we shall burn him to ashes. What continue చేయమంటారు?
Yeah, continue, bro.
Saintly persons are not interested in political matters, yet they are always thinking of the welfare of the people in general. Consequently, they sometimes have to come down to the political field and take a step to correct the misguided government or royalty. However, in Kali Yuga, saintly persons are not as powerful as they previously were. They used to be able to burn any sinful man to ashes by virtue of their spiritual prowess. Now, saintly persons have no such power due to the influence of the age of Kali. Indeed, the Brahmanas do not even have the power to perform sacrifice in which animals are put into fire to attain a new life. Under these circumstances, instead of activity taking part in politics, saintly persons should engage in chanting the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna by the grace of Lord Chaitanya. By simply chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the general populace can drive all benefits without political implications.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Actually, devotees are Paradukha Dukhi, Parasukha Sukhi. That is the concept there. No, saintly persons are not interested in political matters. Yet they are always thinking of the welfare of the people in general. That's where we have that one word, right? Paradukha Dukhi, Parasukha Sukhi. Devotees are Paradukha Dukhi. Somebody having suffering, they feel that it is getting to me. I have named suffering, feel somebody is Parasukha Sukhi. But opposite word, Parasukha Dukhi. Somebody is growing in life, envious వచ్చేసి మొత్తం శాపనార్థాలు పెడతారు ఎట్లయినా బ్లా 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 అదే కథ మెటీరియలిస్ట్ కాన్షియస్నెస్ పరసుఖ సుఖి పరదుఃఖ దుఃఖి ఇప్పుడు ఆపోజిట్ వే పరసుఖ దుఃఖి పరదుఃఖ సుఖి ఇంకోడు సఫర్ అయితే నవ్వుకుంటారు మంచిగా అయింది అట్లా బట్ సెయింట్లీ పర్సన్స్ ఆర్ డివోటీస్ ఆర్ నాట్ లైక్ దట్ దే ఆర్ వెల్ఫేర్ ఫర్ ఆల్ ద పీపుల్ దట్స్ వెరీ వి సీ ఫస్ట్ లైన్ ఓన్లీ ఇమ్మీడియట్ గా ప్రభుపాద అంటేనే చూడండి అఫ్ కోర్స్ వీవర్ సెయింట్లీ సేజ్ చెప్తున్నారు అక్కడ అందరు వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ అఫ్ కోర్స్ వీవర్ కంప్లీట్లీ అవేర్ ఆఫ్ ది మిస్చియస్ నేచర్ వేనది చిన్నప్పుడే పిల్లలను చంపిండు కదా ఎట్లా ఘోరంగా జింకలను ఇష్టం నాటు క్రియల్ మెంటాలిటీ ఎట్లా రూల్ చేస్తాడు ఎట్ వి నెవర్ ప్లేస్ ఎంత్రోండ్ పోయినా మనకు ఛాయిస్ లేదు కింగ్ ఇమీడియట్లీ మిడిల్ ఆఫ్ ద నైట్ వెళ్ళిపోయిండు he left kingdom, opulence kingdom, wife, is a bad boy, that's it. But nobody unable to find him actually. ఆ సిచ్యువేషన్ లో ఇంకా రాజు ఎవరు తప్పదు కదా కాంపిటెంట్ పర్సన్ ఎవరు లేరు తనకి ఇస్తే ఏమైంది మొత్తం రాజ్యం అంతా చిల్లా చెదరైంది ఇఫ్ వీ కెనాట్ పర్సుయేడ్ కింగ్ వేనా టు యాక్సెప్ట్ అవర్ అడ్వైస్ he will be condemned by the public and we will join them. Thus, by the prowess, we shall burn him into ashes. Sages are చేస్తారనమాట సేజెస్ కి వస్తుంది కోపం వస్తుంది ఇంకా అది ఉంటుంది స్టోరీ నెక్స్ట్ లెట్ us continue. Lavanya, can you read 13 and we can stop here? Please continue. 13, 14, say until purport. Please read.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Am I audible?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. These great sages, having thus decided, approached King Veena, concealing their real anger. They pacified him with sweet words and then spoke as follows. Yeah.
Munaya Uchu, great sages. Munaya means great sages. Okay, continue. Translation and purport. Okay.
Translation and purport. The great sages said, Dear King, we have come to give you good advice. Kindly hear us with great attention. By doing so, your duration of life and your opulence, strength, and reputation will increase. Purpose. According to the Vedic civilization, in a monarchy, the king is advised by saintly persons and sages. By taking their advice, he can become the greatest executive power, and everyone in his kingdom will be happy, peaceful, and prosperous. The
ఇది
great
మళ్ళా
kings
చదవనా?
were
ఇది మళ్ళా చదవండి.
according to Vedic civilization, in a monarchy, the king is advised by saintly persons and sages. By taking their advice, he can become the greatest executive power, and everyone in the kingdom will be happy, peaceful, and prosperous.
ఇక్కడ ఆపోజిట్ జరుగుతుంది అంతా. చెప్పండి.
The great kings were very responsible in taking the instructions given by great saintly personalities. The kings used to accept the instructions given by great sages like Parashara Muni, Vyasadeva, Narada, Devala, and Asita. In other words, they would first accept the authority of saintly persons and execute their monarchical power. Unfortunately, in the present age of Kali, the head of government does not follow the instructions given by the saintly persons. Therefore, neither the citizens nor the men of government are very happy. Their duration of life is shortened, and almost everyone is wretched and bereft of bodily strength and spiritual power. If citizens want to be happy and prosperous in this democratic age, they should not elect rascals and fools who have no respect for saintly persons. Prabhupada అయితే
తిడుతుండ్రా భయ్.
ఇది పోస్ట్ చేయాలి అసలు.
ఇది తిడుతుండే 65 years 70 years back story. If citizens want to be happy and prosper in this democratic age, they should not elect rascals and మనుషుల దగ్గర మనమే కదా, డబ్బులు ఇస్తే ఓట్లు వేసాడు అంతేనే. 1000 రూపాయలకు ఒక నోటు, లేదంటే 5000కు ఒక నోటు, ఒక సీసా మందు సీసా, బస్ కథం మొత్తం డేముడు అదే నడుస్తుంది ప్రపంచం అంతా. ముఖ్యంగా నోటు. Okay, let's stop here. Granadhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We will start from this verse tomorrow. Not tomorrow, on Monday. Tomorrow is Ekadasi, so we will connect on Monday. Okay, so next 3 days will be regular Bhagavatam classes in our main group. Okay, so we will continue this verse on Monday. Again, Granadhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so we will continue some verses from Bhagavatam, 7th canto. 1 or 2 verses will recite, then we will practice Monday. Maybe Prabhuji didn't join, so just I wanted to share and repeat after me one line, and then 2 verses చేద్దాం. Okay, very nice
Prabhuji.
verses. చెప్పండి.
హరే కృష్ణ. ప్రభుజీ, ఇది ఏకాదశి క్లాస్ కూడా 8 o'clock కల్లా అయిపోతుంది ప్రభుజీ. మనం 8 తర్వాత కూడా కనెక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు మంచిగా.
రాజా చూద్దాం.
నేను లేట్ కనెక్ట్ అయినా సరే జాయిన్ అయిన వాళ్ళు కూడా జాయిన్ అవ్వచ్చు కదా. 8 కల్లా అయిపోతుంది కాబట్టి క్లాస్.
చూద్దాం, ప్లాన్ చేద్దాం, చూద్దాం. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద థింగ్ ఐఎమ్ షేరింగ్ నౌ. ఓకే, సో all right. So yesterday we have started this sloka from 7th canto, 7:126. This is ours. Please repeat after me, one after one line after one. Okay. Tasmadu vairānubandhena.
తస్మాదు వైరాగ్యేన.
Tasmadu vairānubandhena.
తస్మాదు
Nirvairena bhayena nava.
Nirvairena
భయేన వా.
Snehat kamena vayunya.
స్నేహాత్ కామేన వాయుంజ.
J silent. Okay. Snehat kamena vayunyat.
कदाचिन्नेक्षते पृथक् कदाचिन्नेक्षते पृथक् So this is very important chapter. Okay, the Supreme Lord is equal to everyone. Name wasted. Verse. So now let me recite 4 lines here nicely, and you can also chant together. Okay, let me do first. Tasmadu vairānubandhena nirvairena bhayena va स्नेहात् कामेन वायोन्यात् कदाचिन्नेक्षते पृथक्. Please chant.
तस्माद्वैरानुबन्धेन
निर्भयेन भयेन वा स्नेहात् कामेन नान्यात् कथाचिन्निक्षते पृथक्.
మధ్య మధ్యలో కొన్ని మధ్య మధ్యలో కొన్ని వర్డ్స్ దగ్గర ఓకే సంబడి స్పీకింగ్ మధ్య మధ్యలో వర్డ్స్ దగ్గర కొంచెం ఫ్యూ సెకండ్స్ రిలాక్స్ అవ్వండి 2-3 seconds అట్లా నో ప్రాబ్లం వన్ మోర్ టైమ్ ఓకే ప్లీజ్ చాంట్ ఐ విల్ డూ 4 lines together తస్మాద్ వైరానుబంధేన నిర్వైరేణ భయేన వా స్నేహాత్ కామేన వాయోన్యాత్ కథాంచిన్నేక్షతే పృథక్. ఫస్ట్ టైం మనం చేస్తున్నాం 7th canto, రిమెంబర్ ఇట్ విల్ కమ్. ఓకే ప్లీజ్ చాంట్. యా
तस्माद्वैरानुबन्धेन निर्भयेन भयेन वा स्नेहात् वायुन्यात् कथाचिन्निक्षते पृथक्.
Okay. Please read the translation, anyone?
Therefore, by enmity or by devotional service, by fear, by affection, or by lusty desire, by all of this or any one of them, if a conditioned soul somehow or other concentrates his mind upon the Lord, the result is the same for the Lord, because of his blissful position, is never affected by enmity or friendship.
We are affected by enmity, friendship. Krishna doesn't affect all this. He is the same personality. But favorable condition, unfavorable condition. Unfavorable means in enemy. Favorable means friend. So both ways. So that is what it is. This verse. Gandhi Dintla will read. Actually, I want to do one more verse in devotees. Prahlad watch. Very nice verse. 7.5.5. ఒకసారి చాంట్ చేసి మనం మండే విల్ కనెక్ట్ ఎనీవే వీఆర్ గోనా డూ ఇట్ అగైన్ సో లెట్ us chant one more time. One time one line, second time all 4 lines, try, and that's it, and then read the translation and we can wrap up. Okay. This is what the verse is about. Sri Prahlada Uvacha. Prabhupada quotes this one also in very frequently. Yeah, Gruhamanda Kupam, right? That's where Gruhamanda Kupam. అది మన ఇంతకుముందు భాగవతం వర్డ్స్ చదువుతున్నప్పుడు ప్రభుపద అంధకూపం అని డార్క్ వెల్ ఈస్ కమ్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ వర్డ్ అంధకూపం. ఓకే, విచ్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఏ బ్లైండ్ వెల్ వేర్ దెర్ ఇస్ నో వాటర్ బట్ వన్ నన్ లెస్ సర్చెస్ ఫర్ వాటర్. అది మీనింగ్ అంధకూపం మీనింగ్. ఓకే, ప్లీజ్ రిపీట్ ఆఫ్టర్ మీ. This is our 7.5.5. Okay, what is the chapter entitled as? Prahlada Maharaja, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. Okay. Sri Prahlada Uvacha. Please chant.
Sri Prahlada Uvacha.
Sri Prahlada Uvacha.
Sri Prahlada
Uvacha.
Tat sadhu manye shuravarya deinam.
తత్సాధుమన్యే సురవర్యదేహినాం
అసుర అసుర ఓకే అక్కడ కామ ఉందంటే అసుర అనాలి కొంచెం ఆ వాడాలి ఓకే తత్సాధుమన్యే అసురవర్యదేహినాం ఇక్కడ చూడండి ఇక్కడ వర్డ్ చూడండి ప్రభుపద బిడగొట్టి అసురవర్య ఓకే అసురవర్య అంటే కింగ్ ఆఫ్ ద అసురస్ ఓకే సదా సముద్విగ్న ధియామ సద్గ్రహాత్
సదా సముద్విగ్నధియం
సద్గ్రహాత్
సదా సముద్విగ్న ధియామ అసద్గ్రహాత్
సదా సముద్విగ్నధియం
సద్గ్రహాత్
హిత్వాత్మపాతం గృహమంధకూపం
హిత్వాత్మపాతం గృహమంధకూపం
హిత్వాత్మపాతం గృహమంధకూపం
హిత్వాత్మపాతం గృహమంధకూపం
వనం గతో యద్ధరిం ఆశ్రయేత
వనం గతో యద్ధరిం ఆశ్రయేత
వనం గతో యద్ధరిం ఆశ్రయేత
వనం గతో యద్ధరిం ఆశ్రయేత
ఓకే 4 లైన్స్ నేను చేస్తాను మంచిగా వినండి కలిసి చేయండి ఒకసారి చేయండి మండే ఎనీవే ప్రాక్టీస్ చేద్దాం కానీ మంచిగా వినండి ఇప్పుడు 4 లైన్స్ ఒకటేసారి చేస్తాను అందరు కలిసి ఒకసారి చేయండి 1 devotee read the translation and we can wrap up okay please hear Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.5 Shri Prahlada Uvacha Tatsadhu manye asuravarya dehinam sada samudvigna dhiya masadgrad हित्वात्मपातं गृहमन्धकूपं वनं गतो यद्धरिम् आश्रयेत yeah please chant
శ్రీ ప్రహ్లాదువాచ అసురవర్యధీనాం సదా సముద్విగ్నధియం అసద్గ్రహాత్మపాతం గృహమంధకూపం వనం గతో
యద్దరిమాశ్రయేత
yeah read translation anyone
Prahlad Maharaj replied, "O best of Asuras, king of the demons, as far as I have learned, temporary household life is certainly embraced. Hare Krishna, embraced by anxiety because of having fallen in a dark well where there is no water but only suffering. One should give up this position and go to the forest. More clearly, one should go to Vrindavan, where only Krishna
consciousness yeah
one should go to Vrindavan, where only Krishna
consciousness present
కనిపించింది
sorry me scroll mobile phone la కింద మీద
ఉన్నా
ఓకే
సిస్టమ్ మీద
ఓకే మరి ఎందుకు ఓకే కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్నెస్ ఈజ్ ప్రివాలెంట్ అండ్ షుడ్ ద టేక్ షెల్టర్ ఆఫ్ ద సుప్రీం పర్సన్ ప్రభుపాద రైట్స్ వనం గతో తద్ధరిం ఆశ్రయేత్ హరిం ఆశ్రయేత్ హరిం అనగానే ఇప్పుడు మోర్ క్లియర్లీ ఎంఫసైజ్ చేస్తున్నాడు మోర్ క్లియర్లీ యా వన్ షుడ్ గో టు బృందావన వేర్ ఓన్లీ కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్ ఇస్ ప్రివాలెంట్ షుడ్ టేక్ షెల్టర్ ఆఫ్ ద సుప్రీం పర్సన్ అంటే యూనో ఇది నో bodily temporary household life is certainly embraced by anxiety because having fallen in a dark well. See, this is talks about the materialistic way of life, materialistic families, eat, sleep, mate, and that's it. That's what they. But there are exemplary grihastha couples in Bhagavatam.
we can take those an exemplary life. Grihastha life. Temporary household life means materialistic. Of course, everything is temporary. Body is temporary, temporary household life. But make them Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada many times writes, make them Krishna consciousness. That's it. Your life becomes successful. Yeah. Gruhamedi and Grihastha. That is the difference, right? Gruhamedi and Grihastha. Gruhamedi life means dark well. Grihastha life means light, bright life, Krishna centered life. Grihastha. No? Ashram, Grihastha Ashramam. No, for the higher purpose. Beget children for Krishna consciousness spreading. Okay, very nice verse. Huh? Tat sadhu manye suravarya dehina. Prabhupada writes, Hitvatma patam gruhamanda kupam. Vanam gato yat tadamari ashrayat. And this one say, Tasmad vairanu bandena. By constant enmity. Niruvairena, by devotion. Bhayena, by fear. Krishna is always there. Krishna always there and proof Prahlad Maharaj lifetime only, right? One quality, nine processes explained, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Achanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedam. These 9 processes. Prahlad Maharaj always Smaranam, remembering all the atrocities through his agents, Hiranyakashipu's agents, servants, whatever. He are just remembering Krishna, that's it. మావతార్ నరసింహస్వామి అందరం చూసినాం కదా, తోస్తే మంచి ఎట్లా చూపించారు, మంచిగా పూలల్లో పడ్డట్టు, మంచి భగవంతుడే చేతులలో తీసుకుని పూలల్లో మంచిగా చూసుకున్నట్టు దివోటి అట్లా చేస్తాడు కృష్ణుడు. నిజంగానే కృష్ణుడికి సాధ్యం కాదు ఏముంది. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. We'll end with this sloka, these two slokas. We will continue practice. Once Prabhu will come, we'll practice more. Okay, and have a nice long weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll see. If you want to connect, we can connect, Prabhu. We'll see based on that. 8 o'clock అంటే చూద్దాం దాన్ని బట్టి. ఓకే, గ్రంథరా శ్రీమద్ భాగవతం की जय. జగద్గురు శిల ప్రభుపాద్ की जय. Thank you so much for your association. వాంఛాకల్పతరుభ్యశ్చ కృపా సింధుభేవ చ పతితానాం పావనేభ్యో వైష్ణవేభ్యో నమో నమః. అనంత కోటి వైష్ణవ వృంద की जय. జగద్గురు శిల ప్రభుపాద్ की जय. Let us connect. Okay, if anything like that, 8 o'clock అయిపోతే చూద్దాం, ఒక 30 minutes 40 minutes చదవడానికి ప్లాన్. We'll see as per Prabhu shown interest. చూద్దాం, నా టైం బట్టి, నా సెట్ బట్టి చూద్దాం. హరే కృష్ణ. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ. విల్ సీ యూ.
Guruji, Hare Krishna.
హరి బోల్.